like I said, it's a very important, one of the most important thing you can do for your performance, for playing. Have to develop that. Students don't have it. Teachers never spent any time to develop it.
Yeah.
It's usually go slower, go faster. You play
Yeah.
too rush, you play too dead.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like always had a problem with tempo because I play very freely and I play very with much nuance. So when I play in tempo, I lose that. So I don't like playing tempo. Because when I improvise, when I compose, when I play for real pleasure, I was not taught to think about tempo in a connected way. So I just
You
don't
choose in
think
between this or that, but not this and that.
exactly. Exactly. I prefer nuance, dynamics, sound than tempo. So I chose it always that side. People never say to me why playing tempo. Just to show that I am able to play in tempo. I don't believe in that. So I was like thinking like that. Now I understand things much more differently because of your system.
Yeah. I wrote that it does help technically because, again, I really don't know how it works, but if I play something fast without a sense of pulsation, strong and weaker beats, and knowing that I'm choosing the right tempo and I'm practicing in the right tempo, then I feel also tense. I feel unhealthy tension. But when I'm in the flow, then that inner pulse helps my fingers move faster. It's almost like
Mm-hmm.
a wave. If my fingers is like a surfer, and the wave is just like helps to perpetuate the momentum, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's how it works. And yes, of course, it's not choosing the right tempo is very important. Not just because if you take sometimes faster tempo, let's say in a slow music, right? Technically, you're taking faster tempo in a slow music, not a big problem, but the issue is that that little bit higher speed will not let you to express the character of music, will not let audience and return to feel it and give it back to you, and so you lost it. That's one thing, but if, for example, you play a fast piece and you're taking a much faster tempo in the fast piece, we know that leads to a disaster, right, technically. So in the faster pieces, choosing the right tempo really helps technically, because, you know, if you practice 100 hours in a, you know, certain tempo and then you go on stage and you play it twice faster,
Uh-huh.
it's like you basically playing the piece you never practiced, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
First, we face when we introduce heartbeat is a stomping playing effect. So how do we avoid that? The concept of timing is that it's a very subtle, I call it a heartbeat, that it's a very subtle, in a way it's not loud. I mean, it's sort of loud, but it's like underground. You know, sometimes you have like a party and then there's like a faraway boom, boom, boom. So it's quite
Mm-hmm.
prominent. It's there, but it's really underneath. And in that case, if you follow the phrasing, the heartbeat will only just perpetuate the momentum. You know, it will only help you to go forward. But if on the opposite way, your timing is very loud and to say your main focus, and phrasing is secondary,
Uh-huh.
then the phrasing will be just drawn under the heaviness of the timing.
Yeah.
So in this case, it's just, again, pay attention. Timing is just a subtle heartbeat. You don't hear your heartbeat in your ears, but it's there always, you know?
Yeah.
Timing generally is having two distinct parts. One is pulsation and two is tempo. Pulsation, the first part, goes into the folk again, and it has again two main basic elements. One is which note value we're gonna assign to a single pulse, and second is which are gonna be stronger beats and which are lighter. So the one is a note value, the other one is a beat. Okay, tempo only have 5 timings. We know about that. We'll talk about that. Those 5 timings will feel a little bit different depending on joy or sorrow image. Yeah. So coming back to the first part of timing, pulsation. So when we're talking about the first step, which is finding, identifying the note value that will be assigned to a single pulse, we have a certain rule for it, right? For that, we are looking at the time signature. For tempo, second part, we're looking at the Italian marking. Yeah. Okay. So for time signature, for finding the note value assigned for single pulse, we're looking if it's a simple time or compound time, right? In simple time, we usually are going by quarter note. In compound time, we are going also by dotted quarter. That's simple. If we have a common time, then we are going by the whole, also like 4/4. And a la breve, we're actually going not by quarters, but by half a measure. We're going by half note. Okay. That's how you choose the note value for the pulse. If we are in need of feeling more stable and having more momentum when we play virtuoso passages, we can introduce a more often pulse. Not necessarily by quarters, if we have 50 notes. Maybe we want to break it into quavers, 8 notes. And so you go with a more frequent pulse. That helps. Because as you also learn a little bit later, these pulses will be somehow aligned. Again, we talked about this in the first lessons in the first book with our elbow motion. So by introducing in those virtuoso cadences additional pulse, we're also introducing additional stability by moving our elbow more frequent. Okay, it's all connected. When you play a long thrill, again, you want to introduce, it's like a long embellishment, right? So you want to introduce additional, more often pulse. Decide, choose, be very clear, what is it? I sometimes even write everything. And on every pulse, you want to slightly move your elbow. So even if you play... If you play this thrill, tiring, I'm suffocated. If I, for example, try to use dun 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 dun, and on each of this, I move my elbow a little bit to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And eventually, you might be not seeing elbow so much, but that helps a lot, you see. Yes, in this case, for example, if we're talking about simple time, again, we can just introduce additional pulse and go by 8 notes instead of the quarters. And in compound time, again, we're going by 8 notes instead of dotted quarter. Cool. So the second part of pulsation, so we have the note value, and now we have the beats. Now we need to decide, second step is which beats are going to be stronger and which one lighter. That's also very helpful to achieve better phrasing, a natural flow. I don't know, feels good and right. If, for example, I'm again through experiment, I make all 4 pulses in 4/4 equally strong, I cannot breathe really. But if I make 2 stronger and 2 lighter, it's all right. And again, with your question, how I'm gonna combine that with my phrasing, well, let's say with a motif, because motif goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So basically 2 is lighter and 3, 4 maybe stronger. But what I'm saying here is that usually the first 2 are stronger and the second 2 are lighter. And again, through these exercises of practicing, of timing, singing and playing with phrasing, you will feel how you can do that. It's a strange paradox, but you combine these 2 forces, phrasing goes stronger, pulse goes lighter, and again, magic. Yet someone has to discover how it works, but yeah, there is a big paradox here going on. And it works beautifully. In 2/4 or 4/4, first half a bar stronger, second lighter. In 3/4, I suggest make first a little bit stronger, and second and third lighter. You know, in school, I don't know if you did, but in Russia we had to conduct, so you know, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And with 6/8, the same approach, you know, 6/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the same principle, okay? Okay, so timing, pulsation, find the note value according to the same time signature, and second part, decide which beats are stronger, which beats are lighter. Cool. Now you go to the second part, you choose the right tempo. And tempo is here, is very much connected and entangled with the musical image and character of music, right? Why I suggest to feel tempo rather than just look at the metronome, keep it steady, choose the right tempo. So many times we would lose musicality if someone tells us correcting or take the pen.
Exactly.
And
we lose articulations, we lose everything.
Exactly. So you're focusing on tempo, you allocate it, but because it's not integrated and connected and a part of your musical image, then you obviously lose musical image. And again, because it's not integrated musical image, you lost your tempo in the first place because you were thinking about musical image.
Yeah.
So, cool. And also, of course, when you embody and when you really feel music, not just, oh, okay, it's this pulse, but rather, oh, it's calm with movement. Or it's energetic, or it's animated. You really embrace it, you really feel it with your body, this tempo. So you have a better choices to actually choose the right tempo that would reflect, better chances to choose the right tempo that would reflect your image. So we have 5 timings. How do we decide which timing to take? Basically, we have a template here. We look at the tempo markings and it says andantino. So if it's major, then andantino will be translated in our feelings as animated. If it's minor, then andantino will be translated as worried and a bit anxious, right? So for finding the pulse, you're looking at the time signature and then choosing the stronger and weaker beats. And for the tempo, you're looking at the Italian markings, you look at the key signatures, if it's major or minor, and then you look at the table and you choose the right feeling. And from my experience, most of the time, it's timing 2. What I play is usually either calm with movement or heavy with movement,
Happy,
heavy-hearted
happy.
with movement. Sometimes I go to animated or worried, or I just go to timing 5, just energetic. But 2 and 80% of the time I'm using 2. There is energetic timing 5 piece, but I want to make it not too fast. Like energetic but with less movement. So this is how I usually approach timing 4. And I use it sometimes. For example, if I'm playing a piece which is presto, fast, but it has maybe heavy image, then if I play too energetic, it's a little bit shallow. So that heaviness of the whole music would naturally provoke me to have energetic but like moderately energetic. So it's opposite, like a mirroring. When I do calm with movement, it's calm, but to make the music feel a little bit more flowing, I jump to timing 2, so I make it calm with movement. So it doesn't stay, it flows, it's lighter. And the same if I play super energetic, but the image is epic and grand, like in Rachmaninoff, then I put a little bit more heaviness in that, and that kind of like energetic, but with less movement and a little bit heavier. So these two, I usually operate them a lot, like that way.